Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about the 1939 film Gone with the Wind. Longtime viewers of the channel would know I'm a huge fan of this movie, as well as the book it's based on. I did a review on that one a couple years ago, but I've never done a review on the movie itself. So I think this movie's fantastic. It's probably one of the greatest movies ever made, especially when you think about like the year it was made. Like in 1939, this was a game changer. No movie was like this before before Gone with the Wind. First of all, it's one of the first ever color movies. Second of all, like just the whole sheer epic scale of it hasn't been seen like before that. It really paved the way for a lot of movies since. And honestly, I think it aged pretty well in that aspect. Margaret Mitchell's book provides the perfect film adaptation, and I'm really glad that they made it 4 hours long because the book itself's like 1,300 pages, so there's no way you could have done that in like a normal sized movie. I feel like if it was made today, they would have made it like a miniseries, but TV wasn't really a thing back then. There's a lot of 4 hour movies or 3 hour movies that I think like, okay, yeah, that could have been trimmed down a bit. You know, I'm thinking Lawrence of Arabia did not need to be 3.5 hours long. That could have easily been like 2.5, and nothing would have changed. This movie, every single minute is like entertaining. Something's always happening. Something's either building up to something or, a big climax. Uh, I think like you couldn't take a single minute out of it because so much stuff happens. Fleming is a very good director. I cannot believe he did this and The Wizard of Oz in the same year. That is insane. Like that must have been a stressful year for him. But both are really great movies. Very different movies, but they have that. They both have that sort of epic scale to them. I'd say, very very Hollywood in a good way. Now, honestly, some aspects of the movie didn't age well. The portrayal of black characters is a little stereotypical. I Some people would say that it glorifies the South. I don't know about that because we're seeing the movie from the perspective of plantation owners. So obviously they enjoy the South, like they liked it that way. Um, but I feel like the movie itself doesn't. It's just because we're seeing it through the perspective of these characters. So they're kind of hard to root for because they're like literally slave owners. Um, so the movie makes it seem like the Yankees are the bad guys, but like it's kind of hard to root for the Confederates. The cinematography is great. I love the Technicolor. It's so vibrant. Every scene is just so like colorful. I love it. Um, I mean, this was when color was like a novelty, but now every movie is in color. But a lot of movies now are very dull. This one is so saturated and lively. And Max Steinel does a great soundtrack to the movie. Sometimes I even listen to it on Spotify, especially like that classic theme song. Um, he helps amplify these moments, like the scene in the scene with the radish would not be the same without his soundtrack. Vivian Leigh is the perfect choice to play Scarlett O'Hara, the main character of this movie. I think this is one of my favorite performances by any actor ever. She has this like, well, first of all, she's beautiful, like, and she uses that. Well, the character Scarlett uses that to advantage to manipulate people. She has this great like timing. Everything is so right with her. And she's able to play this character as she grows up within the 12 years. Like the movie starts when she's 16 and ends when she's 28. And Vivian's able to portray that in a very nuanced way, I think. Um, a lot of people think that Scarlett is very bratty and annoying, which she is. I mean, that's very intentional. Um, there was this old lady sitting next to me who said like she used to think Scarlett was nothing but annoying and bratty, but she came to realize that she is just a teenage girl who has to deal with all this stuff. A lot of people forget about that. Like she's just a teenager having to deal with all this tragic events that happened to her. Um, I think maybe the reason people forget about that is because he's played by Vivian Leigh, an actress in her mid 20s. But Scarlett's crazy arc is insane. She goes from riches to rags, back to riches. She has like this whole journey of self discovery. She becomes stronger and fiercer. Um, and obsessive, like whole being in love with Ashley's like the only thing that keeps her going. You know, she's like the original simp. I mean, Ashley's not all that. He's like this freaky incest baby because apparently the Wilkes always marry their cousins. Hole and Clark Gable have such good chemistry. It's it's always like a chess match between them. This like playful flirtation mixed with trying to outsmart each other. It's great. Clark Gable is of course fantastic in this movie as well, um, and he's very dependable to Scarlett. Even though after a while he can't take it anymore because like nobody could. I can't believe he stayed this long. Olivia de Havilland is great as Melanie. She's so like she's so positive and optimistic in the face of all this trauma that happens to her. It's kind of inspiring. Sometimes she's a little over the top, like maybe they were taking mushrooms back then, but you know, oh Ashley's coming home. It's kind of nuts, but she's a lot smarter than she lets on. You know, um, she just tries to always think positive. And I like how that facade kind of crumbles, but not really towards the end of the movie. She gets a little bit more down towards the end because it's like one of the saddest endings to a movie ever. But I don't know, that's just really good acting in her final scenes. I like Leslie Howard as Ashley Wilkes. Very stoic. He doesn't know how to feel about Scarlett. He doesn't know how to say no. He doesn't know how to say yes. Um, you know, he's kind of put in a difficult position here. You know, should I stay with my cousin wife or should I be with Scarlett? This movie, being as long as it is, has like dozens of characters to keep track of, which was a little confusing on first watch, trying to remember who's who. But all of them do really good performances, especially Hattie McDowell as Mammy. She's great. Um, you know, you could definitely see why she won the Oscar. The whole crying after Bonnie died was just so. That was such a good scene. It sucks though that she couldn't accept the reward herself. That was kind of dumb, but you know, it was the 1930s, and I guess people were racist back then, so that sucked. But yeah, post Scarlet, so much bad shit happens to her in this movie. It's like 4 hours of her getting tortured, basically. For her house burns, well, her house is like kind of destroyed. Her mom dies. Her dad gets dementia, and then he dies. Okay, her first husband dies. Her second husband dies, but she didn't really care about them. She kind of felt guilty about the second husband. Her, um, her daughter dies. Her best friend dies, and her husband leaves her. So, I think the thing is, Scarlett O'Hara being such an unlikable character, when you put all those things that happen to her, you realize like even she doesn't deserve it. So you start to root for her. It's such a real dynamic because like obviously nobody deserves this. So you're rooting for this character you normally wouldn't root for. Very aggressive, manipulative, selfish. But at the same time, you want her to succeed. You want her to get with Red again. Great character work by Margaret Mitchell and very good performance by Vivian Leigh. Very sympathetic. Um, Anyway, I could talk about this movie all day, but I don't think you guys care enough. So I'm gonna wrap it up here. Let me know what you guys thought of Gone with the Wind down in the comments below. I'm very glad that they brought this back to the movie theater for the 85th anniversary. It looks great on a big screen. I saw it for the 80th. I'll probably see it for the 90th in 5 years. And it just kind of shows that maybe we're showing a shift in society as a whole is feeling a shift in terms of, you know, banning movies and TV shows that might be offensive to people. I think what the theater did was great. They showed a little black card at the screen at the beginning of the movie saying this movie's kind of racist, um, like a little acknowledgement of that, and then they showed the movie because you can't ban stuff. You know, you're removing parts of history. I completely disagree with like book bannings or film bannings or banning of that episode of Community. So I'm glad that this movie's still on HBO Max and it's still on the movie theaters even to this day. It's a classic. So thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, peace.